over 6,000 languages on this planet today, and half of them are on the path to extinction by the end of this century. That's one language every 2 weeks. And this is a crisis because we know that these languages encode information about whole ecosystems, ways of being, ways of knowing, and that the loss of these systems impacts people with higher rates of heart disease, diabetes, mental illness, and suicide. So my language, Namarequa, or Comanche, was once spoken on the western half of this continent, and today, there are only 8 fluent speakers. So my work is all about language revitalization. I want to create new speakers. In order to do this, I have to adequately describe how our language works. This really hasn't been done before. So I'm looking at sounds through borrowed words or loanwords. And these are words that come from a different language into the receiving language. And we can kind of see this transformation or adaptation to a new set of rules. Think karaoke or croissant. This allows me to look at phonotactic constraints and phonemes. You might be asking what those are. Well, phonotactic constraints are the rules of a language that say what sounds can happen together and when and where they can happen. So we can say train, but we can't say ertain because RT can only happen after the front of a word, like cart. And phonemes are the smallest bits of sound that distinguish difference. So we might say s and sh, but there's a world of difference between sit and. So let's take a look at this process through a word like popcorn. When it comes in, P is fine at the beginning, but the P and K sound in the middle are problematic because Comanche doesn't allow 2 consonants to sit next to one another. Something has to happen. And if we look a little deeper, one's produced at the front of the mouth and one's produced at the back of the mouth. They don't compete for space, so we can keep them if we add a vowel in between. At the end, though, we have an R and an N together, and they do compete for space in the front of the mouth. They have to go to Consonant Fight Club. Now, I can't talk about what happened at Consonant Fight Club, but the N wins, and we can keep it as long as we add a vowel after it, because Comanche doesn't allow a word to end on a consonant. So popcorn. Now, let's look at ice cream. In the middle, there's an SK and R sound cluster, but they don't have to go to Consonant Fight Club because they alternate front, back, front. Insert vowels, move to the end where we have M. M is such a problem, we just have to lop it off. Ice goodie. So what can I do with this information? 1, I can begin to adequately describe how our language works so that we can 2, train new teachers to work with new speakers, and 3, create new language learning materials so that we can have a new speaker just say, ice goodie ana su white. I want ice cream. Thank you.